Good morning, it's Robin Fritz. It's 11 a.m. and it's time for Coffee and Cosmos with Robin. Welcome, I am so glad you're here with me today. Welcome to Om Times Magazine. So, my name is Robin Fritz. I'm an intuitive and spiritual consultant and past life regression specialist. So, what does that mean for you? That means I offer intuitive, personal, and business consultations, animal communication, mediumship, space clearing, and I'm a registered hypnotherapist, but also experienced in shamanic techniques, so I offer past life regression and between life regression, soul journeys, spiritual awakenings, meeting your guides, energy healing, an array of services to help all of us tap our abilities as healers and intuitives. So again, thank you for joining me here today, and I invite you to join my radio show every Monday at 2 Pacific Time, 5 Eastern. Over at the Om Times radio page, it is the Practical Intuitive Mind, Body, Spirit for the Real World. And hello everyone, thanks for joining me today. So, you can email me for personal sessions at robinfritz.com. That's ROBYNFRITZ.com. So, today I would like to share elements of last week's Facebook Live session because I'm really better at talking with volcanoes than technology, and I accidentally deleted the video. And I thought one element of that, several elements of what I wanted to talk with you about last week are important to share, which is my journey to what I call the table of life and what that has to say for us today. And also, I'd like to, I'm just getting into doing these Facebook Lives, and I'd love for it to be more interactive. So here's kind of how I planned it out, and let's just experiment and see how it goes. Hello everyone, thanks. New Zealand, hey, great, awesome. So I would like to start each session by introducing myself, obviously, by telling you the topic of the day, by doing a guided meditation with the crystal Fallon, with a word or a mantra that you can concentrate on for that day, talking about the topic I wanted to share with you for that day, a crystal of the week, because I love crystals and I want everyone to get to meet and know more crystals. And then really back and forth between us. What are you interested in talking about in these videos? Or what would you like me to explore? Or what would you like to do in these videos? Let's have more interaction. And then ending with a healing with the goddess. So, Linda, hi from Portland. Yes, I love Portland. The big deal about Portland is I grew up in the Salem area, and we used to go, a big treat, to Portland for a movie and then dinner with my parents. So, let's start. Let me tell you, the topic today is spiritual citizenship, following along the lines of my last week's radio show, which was the 4th of July, and spiritual democracy. And then the show yesterday, which was on planetary citizenship, my July 10th show, my conversation with Washington State's most active volcano, Mount St. Helens, and what we ended up talking about, the consequences of our actions back in 2004, and how my interactions with her and with other beings led me to create a new mindset for our interactions in the world. But let's start first with a guided meditation with Fallon, and my office setup is a little different here. So here's Fallon. He's, I don't name anybody in my family, that's the name he gave me. He is Citrine Lemurian Quartz, which is a very rare form of quartz, and Fallon is a very rare crystal, an ancient power crystal, and he's a healer and a truth bringer. So I love for him to join me in everything that I do. In fact, he's one of the reasons why I am doing the work I am doing today. So as we do this meditation with Fallon, I would like you to concentrate again on the word gratitude. What are we grateful for today? Last week, obviously, for being citizens of whatever country we live in. But whatever you're grateful for today, take that to heart in these few moments with Fallon. And let your intuition and your natural healing abilities guide you in connecting with him. Because if you're intuitive very strongly visually, you may see images or pictures that he shows you. You may experience his energy. You may hear him chat with you, and he's very funny, has a great sense of humor. Or he may have a personal message for you. Or you may simply have a very strong clair-knowing ability, so you'll simply know you're connected to him. So you take a deep breath and imagine that you're concentrating on the word gratitude. What are you grateful for, or what would you like the world to be grateful for? And as you concentrate on Fallon, I'd like you to just take a deep breath, breathe straight into your solar plexus. And as you do that, just release the cares of the day. As you exhale, just release. And as you breathe in all healthy, positive energy, and allow yourself to experience the gold healing light that is Fallon. And as you do that, let that gold healing light flood into your heart and your heart chakra. And know that with each beat of your heart, that gold healing light just floods your body with love and warmth and connection. You may feel a little lightheaded. Fallon helps people's crown chakras open wide up. So now as you're feeling that love and warmth and connection flood your body, take your attention to the top of your head. And we're going to be drawing mind, body, and spirit more tightly together. So breathe that gratitude and your mind, body, and spirit down your body from the top of your head, down your face, your neck, your shoulders, your chest, your hips, your knees, and your feet. Top of your head to the bottom of your feet. And know as you're doing this is rapid chakra clearing, the fastest ever with Fallon. Top of your head to the bottom of your feet. You may feel lightheaded, you may feel your energy swirling, that's all awesome. And now imagine Fallon at your feet and rising up. If not, you don't want him inside your body, a little leery, just allow him to rise up outside your body. Imagine this gold light rising from your feet to your knees, to your hips, your solar plexus, your heart chakra, your shoulders, your throat chakra, your third eye, and your crown chakra. This will open you up to being really here and in tune with us today, and over time with our radio show and with our Facebook Lives, hopefully you will experience a huge surge in your own intuitive and healing abilities. Hi Jody, hi Tina from Portland too. Great, thanks for joining us. So today I did want to talk a little bit about spiritual citizenship, and I wanted to share a fun fact that I didn't know until a few years ago, and that's that in the 18th century there was a huge surge in art and culture and interest in the universe in Western Europe. We call it now the Enlightenment, but we saw a huge increase in art, in literature, in music, in natural sciences, citizen scientists really going out and experimenting and learning how the world operated. And also an experiment in democracy, what came to be called democracy, in political gatherings, in how we wanted to live together in the world. And all of these things that came about that created the Enlightenment were fueled by coffee. And I know you're like, when I first heard that I thought, what? You know, I'm from Seattle, so of course everything is fueled by coffee. But in actuality, coffee was introduced to Europe in the 18th century, and they gathered together in coffee houses and created an entire new society. So I like to share that because, you know, here we are, Coffee and Cosmos with Robin. It was no accident that I named my show that, my Facebook Live that. But imagine, just imagine what caffeine did for the enlightenment, what love could do for us today. And that's what I'd love to share with all of you today, is how we look at being citizens together. And I have had Facebook messages from people, emails from people asking me, oh my God, what's happening in the world? There's just so much going on. It just seems like the world is full of hatred. Everybody's attacking everybody else, and everybody's cynical, and we're in despair. And don't let that get to you. I mean, yes, things are tough in the world, but you're the light. And the darker the world gets, the more your light shines, because you are the people that we depend on to lead the way. So in terms of democracy, or in terms of citizenship, what is it that you create in your families, in your neighborhoods, in your cities, in your states, if you have states like the United States, or counties, in your countries, that can draw us together as citizens? So one thing that I absolutely love, and I learned this from, I believe, Marianne Williamson's book, A Return to Love, which I highly recommend. Her books are very accessible, is a little mantra I'd like to practice with you today. So I'd like you to take a moment, and you know, I'm still trying to figure out the webcam thing here, so I hope I'm looking at you. I intend to be. It's a little weird looking at that little dot. But as you're looking at me and Fallon, imagine that you're looking at each other. And you can practice this technique. I like to practice it at the grocery store, at the deli line, especially when people are tense. And the phrase is, the divine in me greets the divine in you. And it's very, very simple. And you don't have to walk around saying it out loud, you know, and risking somebody going like, oh boy, call the cops, this person is like really full of it today. Do it in your head. And as you do that, imagine that you're connecting with love, and then just feel the serenity that fills you up, and the happiness, and just the giggle factor, the joy of sharing that. So take a deep breath, look at me and Fallon, imagine you're looking at each other, and say in your head, the divine in me greets the divine in you. Isn't that awesome? So add that and practice it this week, and share what you learned last week. And if you're, you know, listening now, if you had a mantra or a word or something that came up to you in the gratitude section in the meditation with Fallon, please share it here. I'd love to see what you discovered in those few sessions, or few seconds with Fallon, but he's connected with us. Fallon is spelled F-A-L-L-O-N, and he's my crystal. He named himself, you know, I don't name anybody in my family. He is a rare power crystal, Citrine Lemurian Quartz. So while he may appear clear quartz to you, he has his faint yellow cast, which is the quartz citrine. Yes. Isn't he awesome? And Lemurian quartz are all mined in one spot in Brazil. I believe the mine is now closed. I'm not sure. Fallon wasn't always this shape. When I first knew him many lifetimes ago, he was a very huge crystal. And I'll tell you that story another time. I'll make a note of that. But today I wanted to tell you about the Table of Life, and what that meant to me last week when I was trying to share it on Facebook Live, and when I was thinking about citizenship and democracy, and how I, as a younger person, you know, scorned being a citizen, and even in the face of my father suffering severe injuries during World War II. So I grew up, I became a citizen, But as I started to explore my intuitive and healing abilities, which I hope you will explore with me in the coming weeks on my show and here, radio show and here on Facebook Live, and in personal sessions if you'd like to have those with us, is the concept of being citizens of the planet. And there was a time when I was astral traveling, and thank goodness I have a lot of spirit guides. People have told me they've seen, like, I'm just surrounded, like, just hundreds of spirit guides, and it's not because I'm special, it's because I'm kind of a klutz, and I need that many guides to keep me out of trouble. And I sure needed them yesterday. I'll tell you that story sometime. Out on Puget Sound here in Washington State, trying to talk with orcas in the midst of the biggest swells I have ever seen outside of a movie theater, and never want to see live again in my life. But I was astral traveling, and all of a sudden I arrived in this place, and I'm like, oh my God, where am I? And I knew there were two humans standing next to me. I couldn't see them, I could feel them. They weren't spirit guides, they were humans like me, just as like amazed at where are we. And it was a meadow, it was green grass and trees and blue sky, the whole shebang, so to speak. And there was this gigantic table, and there were all these different beings getting ready to sit down at this table. And none of them were human. There were like possums, coyotes, trees, flowers, beings that were clearly from either a different planet or a different dimension, I don't know, joining us that day. But I was astonished, and I was looking around, and I was like, what is this all about? And then this male figure came rushing over to me, very tall. He looked human, but he had some, all I can say is tree-like characteristics to him, or plant-like characteristics, or maybe what people would call elves or fairies, but he wasn't completely human. And he was very upset, and he rushed over to me, and he's right down in my face, and he said, where are all the humans? Where are you people? Why aren't you here? And I looked at him, I'm like, whoa, I said, I don't even know where here is, but I don't think other humans know what this place is. Where am I? What is this place? And he said, this is the table of life. This is where we all gather to talk about what we do for our conscious evolving planet. This planet Earth that we all live on. And I'm like, wow, there's a place like that? And what do you do? And he said, you know, and this was the beginning of my understanding that humans aren't in charge of the planet. We aren't guardians and caretakers. We're one of many equals. We are no better or worse than other beings. We are all conscious. Everything has a soul. Everything is conscious and alive. Everything has a job to do and a choice about doing it, a responsibility, and everything has opinions. And when humans wake up and recognize that, that's when the rest of the world, you know, is invited in to chat with you. And so I was like, oh my gosh. And he said, this is very serious. Our planet is at a turning point. It is evolving, and, you know, there are various times in the history of a planet that it evolves more rapidly than at other times. And it's in a state of flux, and it's our job to do what we can in whatever body that we're in. And we as humans weren't there. So everyone was sitting down at the table, and they said, you know, come and take your place. But what they said was, where are all the humans? And out of all the beings that live here on the planet, the only empty seats at the table of life are those reserved for humans. So we need to get our act together and be citizens of the planet. And, you know, and that involves the love, that involves the divine in me greets the divine in you. It involves all of those things. So think about that. Share your thoughts here. Email me at robinfritz.com. That's ROBYNFRITZ.com. Share your thoughts. If you'd like a brief intuitive reading or healing, send me an email on that or call in to my radio show on Mondays. But let's talk more about this as time goes on. And, questions or comments here today, I welcome those. I'd like to move on to the crystal of the day, which I chose for last week and I'd like to bring up again today. And it's the crystal Apatite, and it's spelled not like food appetite, but A-P-A-T-I-T-E, Apatite. It's a blue-green crystal, and it's basically a third eye crystal. It's a crystal for discernment, for helping to see the truth. So yes, Helen, thank you. As you say, as you concentrate on the crystal Apatite or consider adding it to your collection, it is also good for bones, but good for not and discerning truth, but also tapping into tapping into your abilities as an intuitive. So helping you tap your abilities as healers and intuitives. I personally do not have a crystal Apatite, but when I drew it from the card deck, or when I thumb through my crystal books or look at my personal crystal collection to choose a crystal for the day, that popped in. And so I wanted to share that with you. I don't know if any of you have a crystal Apatite. It's not rare, so you might try a trusted dealer. Be careful about buying your crystals. I have a whole workshop on that coming up. Where you buy your crystals and who you buy from is very important, because they do go through a traumatic process during the mining and collection phase at times. Certainly Fallon did when he was transformed from what he was to a crystal ball only 6 years before we met up again. So today, that's kind of what I wanted to chat with you about. But what would you like to chat about in other Facebook Live presentations? What subjects are interesting to you? We can talk about anything that relates to your intuition and healing. And there's certainly quite a bit there. Certainly over time we'll share my experience learning several shamanic techniques that have helped me and my clients in our personal healing journeys. There will be other crystals that I'll introduce you to, more conversations with volcanoes as we get deeper into the summer here in the United States. I'll talk about what hurricanes really do on the planet, and that was amazing to me, and it will change your whole idea of global warming. If we're really experiencing global warming, which we're not, we're experiencing an ice age, according to the hurricanes. That's what's coming. And what do we do about that? And what can we do to support each other? So any questions, any comments here today? Happy to hear what you have to say. What did you experience with your feeling about gratitude, and how you experience gratefulness and being grateful for the world that we live in today? How did you experience Fallon, and what did that mean to you? Happy to share your thoughts here today. And feel free to type those in. I'm still figuring out how to share. But if you would like, if you appreciate me and Om Times, I would appreciate you. And I'm trying to scroll. Oh, here we go. Okay. Michigan, awesome. Thank you all for joining in today. And if you appreciate me and Om Times, please like the Om Times magazine page if you haven't. My business page on Facebook is the Practical Intuitive Robin M. Fritz. Please go over there and like my page. I would really appreciate it. I also appreciate and welcome friend requests on my page, Robin M. Fritz. Let's see if I can type that in here. There we go. Oops, sorry. There we go. My business page. I have an awkward setup here. Go there. Oops, I don't know who that was. Hang on. You are welcome to go to my website, Robin Fritz, ROBYN FRITZ, and sign up for my newsletter. I have several free ebooks there available to you. One on connecting with all life, one on space clearing, one on how we can be our best selves. And, you know, we're all there to support you. Also, my radio show every Monday, and I'm also I'm very grateful to be part of the Om Times Experts community, and we're all offering webinars at the Learn It Live platform, so that's experts at omtimes.com. And putting up some really cool pictures to focus on as people meet and greet their guide for their daily practice, and others on crystals, on animal communication, on animals in the afterlife. But all of us experts are here for you, to help you grow in your life. Okay, Aaron, as I experienced Fallon, I saw gold glitter, which is a new experience because I usually see multicolored. As a child, this scared me because it would start off far away and come towards me and go up to where my eyes couldn't see. Oh, every time you close your eyes, Aaron, or just when you closed your eyes and saw Fallon? And I'm really glad, I'm so grateful you shared that, because Fallon is a crystal, and he's been a crystal for eons. And while we are in human bodies for a very short period of time, but there are a lot of people who are afraid of seeing Fallon as he really is, as a crystal, and so he often appears as a gold man or even as a gold light. So gold glitter is awesome. So you were actually really experiencing him, so that's great. I'm so glad for that, because that's why we're out in the world. And maybe I should tell the story of Fallon next week, so we can share that on Facebook Live. But I'm glad it doesn't scare you. You're clearly clairvoyant, which is a person whose intuition works towards seeing, and that's awesome. People who are clairvoyant will see auras around people, or enhanced colors, or beings who aren't physical, including the dead. And I've had children as young as 7 seeing and working with dead people, which is actually one of the reasons why I became a medium, because to me that was totally unacceptable that a 7-year-old would be approached by a dead person for help. But we're approaching the end of our time today, so I want to thank you all for joining us and for being part of the Om Times community, and I want to thank Om Times for being part of their community. So let's end with the healing energy of the goddess. So and notice that there's healing energy in your palms. You know how people rub their palms together and then feel energy? I don't, but other people do. So take your palms, cross them over your heart. Take a deep breath, breathe energy into your heart, not your energy, the energy of the universe. Put your palms in front of your mouth, breathe into your palms, and then just offer that energy to the world. Wherever it is in the world that needs it, we'll take it. And feel that energy spreading out. Hands back on your heart, breathe into your heart. Breathe into your palms, and hands back on your heart again. grounding you back into your body, closing down your crown chakra so you can go about your day. If you're a little lightheaded after connecting with Fallon, drink some water, shake it off, and join me again next Tuesday at Facebook Live. And thank you for joining us. For brief intuitive readings and healings for my radio show, email me at robin@robinfritz.com or call in to my show next week. It will be live. Thank you very much, and happy Tuesday.